Hey, we got this Dan Wheldon.
Dan Wheldon, Indy 500 winner.
Yes.
That's a pretty prestigious title.
Well, he piqued our interest because he wasn't supposed to win this thing. No offense to Dan Wheldon.
No.
And all of a sudden, the guy crashes on the last lap. I mean, not even the last lap. Like, he could see the finish line, right? When it crashed?
It was, yeah. It was in the last turn, the last part of the last turn.
And then that guy crashes, and here comes Dan Wheldon.
Yeah.
What a story for him.
Certainly is.
And he won the Indy 500. Is he outside, ready to come in?
Yeah, bring him on in. Why don't we bring him on in?
Yes.
I think he'd be in faster, race car driver. We could compare notes about my racing, perhaps.
Hey, Dan.
There he is. Look, you look like a race car driver.
You do look like a race car driver.
How you doing, man?
Look at him. He's all
How you doing?
handshakes for everybody.
Yeah, man.
What's up, Dan? How are you, brother?
He's got that.
Congratulations.
IndyCar driver look there, right? Yeah, you kind of do.
Do you have to walk around with sponsorship shirts?
Yeah, today.
I see that. Honda, you got the Izod.
William Rast is the big one, bro.
Which one?
William Rast.
Yeah.
William Rast is...
That's the racing team.
No, that's Justin Timberlake's clothing line.
Yeah. That's like the primary sponsor.
Right.
Really?
And you've got Curb Records, Big Machine Records.
Yeah. Is there babes in this sport?
Curb Records, I think, look after Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, that's
But
babe.
yeah,
that's a babe right there.
That's hot chicks.
You smell really good, by the way.
Oh.
It's always awkward to tell another man that, but he smells really good. It's good cologne.
I ain't going to sleep with you, bro.
No.
Sorry to break that.
You know what, though?
Wearing a little brake fluid behind his ears.
Instead of beating up Jimmy, I'm going to second that. Because now
Smells good.
Yeah, it does. What is that shit?
What is that?
Probably a better way to ask.
What is it?
Clean clothes.
Yeah. He had a shower.
To smell it. Yeah, it's a man that actually showered and changed.
As I sit here in sweatpants today.
Yes. Why is your hair down? Oh, you washed it. Okay.
You know what it is, Jimmy? Can you figure it out?
No.
He doesn't want to say because
On
some
air.
of these colognes, they don't want to be passed around to everybody, to every fool.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
I don't blame you. Keep it to yourself.
Silver bottle, whatever that is.
Oh, it's in a silver bottle.
Yeah.
Who knows?
There you go. Yeah, it's just whatever it is. Good stuff. Hey, congrats. Wow, that's a biggie. You enter a long and prestigious list of people who have won the Indy 500, and in exciting style, nonetheless.
Yeah, it was definitely. It was obviously it's a big race to win the 100th anniversary of the Indianapolis 500.
Yeah.
What I got to ask you, you're driving, and also, you guys have seen it all. But weren't you thinking, what the fuck? I'm going to win this thing because this guy crashes?
Do you know what? I didn't until I looked at the replay. I watched the replay a few times now.
Yeah.
And it's different. It's different when you're in the cockpit. That's one of those things. You can be a Monday morning quarterback. Like the guy that he was overtaking around the outside was going incredibly slow.
Right.
And the closing rate for us, I was probably approaching him doing 225 miles an hour. So if he catches somebody that's 150 and he slows down to that speed, I'll be on that kid really quick. Right. So he was probably concerned about that. I know he was being told because he was having to save fuel. I wasn't, that I was coming. And then he made that decision, but it's always a big risk going around the outside. It's very much a one line, as we say, racetrack. But when you get up into that grey, it just sucks you right into the wall.
the rubber is laid down in the groove, right? And that's pretty much where you guys stay. You get up high. What do you get? Little marbles?
Yeah, you get the marbles and the dust and just dirt. And, like I said, what happens as soon as the car gets up in there, it just goes light, and then it won't react to the
From
steering
his
wheel.
in-car camera, you could see the front end got really light and kind of slid over it looked like for no apparent reason.
Yeah, it's just there's no grip.
Yeah.
No grip. So,
How did you know he was running low on fuel? Do you guys know that about the other cars?
Yeah, because just with strategy.
He pulled up next to him and looked at his gauge.
He came alongside and held up that thing. No, it's he decided to pit. He actually was running about 8th, 9th, or 10th the whole day. So at that point in the race, teams will try different things to get their car up front. Well, what they did is they kind of pitted before us and then just tried to, stretch out, the amount of laps he could do on a tank of fuel. Myself and another guy, Scott Dixon, we pitted. It was a disadvantage from the standpoint of track position, but it meant that we could go flat out for the rest of the way.
Push it harder, yeah.
So we were coming with a head of steam for sure.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, you are.
Now, you're saying you were coming with a head of steam. Now, obviously, if this guy hadn't wrecked, you were second. So what were you thinking maybe 5 laps before this happened? Were you thinking that you had a chance of catching this guy, or were you pretty much relegated to the fact that you might be second here?
No, so my team had told me that this was his 36th lap on 36. He'd done 36 laps on that tank of fuel, so he was close to running out. And it's one of those things where you just got to go for it.
So you were going flat out, just trying to catch this guy.
Yeah, because you got to put him under pressure. He could run out at any time. So for me, it was important just to stay flat out and keep the pressure on, and in effect hope that he
pushes it too far, runs out of gas
before the start-finish line, and then I'd have been able to capitalize.
Now, probably a dumb question, but obviously in the end it was a mistake. But he had no choice. He had to try to pass him on the outside like that. Or was there something else he could have done that he didn't do?
He could have bottled up behind that car,
but you were screaming up on him.
Exactly, and that's why he chose not to do that. So it's one of those things.
So he pretty much had to do that maneuver.
Yeah, if you like, I think you got to have that mentality, that winning mentality, and he didn't want to give up the Indy 500 by braking and sitting behind another car. He wanted to go for it, which you got to give him credit for.
Here's a question of, you're never going to know what would have or could have happened, but let's say he tucks up behind him around the curve.
Yeah.
Right after he's out of that curve, now he comes out to pass him. He's already slowed down to stay behind him around the curve. You come out of that curve flying. Do you think you could have passed him on that straight if he had to slow down for that car before the finish line?
Yeah, at the rate I was coming, there would have been a good chance.
Yeah, that you might have nailed him if he had safely gone behind that guy until he hit the straight.
Well, how come you could have made the turn and he couldn't because he was passing somebody and had to go farther out?
He was passing on the right.
Yeah,
so
there was no one in the way for him.
Right, okay,
he would have been in the straight and he would have come around and blow past him, probably because he still would have been coming up to speed.
He was younger, thinking, "Damn, this 2.5 million checks."
Oh man,
2.5 million?
That's what the winner gets.
Yeah, I think I got just under 2.6.
2.5 million.
Not
never
talk
million.
money. I love your talk about.
Wow. So what does he?
That's
wait,
nice.
what did he
That's
come
what
in?
you guys make in an hour, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Did he make second place? That guy?
Yeah, so he made. I think for
Instead of 2.6, what does he get?
he would have got
Set
a
of
million.
steak knives.
A million.
Yeah,
So that crash cost him 1.6.
yeah,
Well,
A mill's still pretty
wow,
good, though.
man.
He's a rookie, right?
yeah. He's his first year.
Wow, damn. So now you passed this wreck. Did you see it? How close did you get to it? Did you take your eye off the prize there for a second to take a look? Did you rubberneck?
And I tell you, this is a true story. I followed Sam Hornish. We were in practice in 2006, and there was a crash in front of the two of us. Sam hit the debris. He was going dead straight. He ran over a piece of carbon, and it flipped the car. So in all seriousness, when he crashed, the last thing I was thinking is, damn, I'm going to win this race. Like, the biggest thing for me was to avoid the debris. And you never know what an IndyCar driver's thinking, right? You're leading the Indy 500. You hit the wall. You've got the second-place guy coming. Like, do you drive across the track and take him with you and hope that you get... I mean...
Hope you come across the track first, the line first.
I'm like, so I got to avoid the debris, and it was important for me to focus on making sure that I could react quick enough if he decided to come back across the track. And once I cleared that, then I'm like, yes, I've just won my second race.
What do you say to yourself in the car? Was there a holy shit? Come on. What was it? What was it?
Yeah,
I need to know.
Honestly, there was a lot of emotion. It wasn't like a holy shit. There was just a ton of emotion. There was a lot going on for me. Obviously, this is my only one, or it was my only race that I'm contracted to do. I'm actually unemployed right now. So
Jeez.
It's the biggest unemployment check I received.
Yeah, right.
But,
Wait, you don't have a sponsor right now?
No, my deal was just for that one
Take
race.
that shirt off. Why are you giving them free advertising?
I'm out of contract, so
Well,
maybe I should, right?
you gotta have something kind of in the pipe. You've been talking, I bet, right?
Yeah, well, the biggest thing for me, certainly at my stage in my career, is to make sure I'm with a good team. I mean,
right.
You want to do this to win, and with all due respect to a lot of the teams out there, it's hard for them to compete with a couple of the big guys.
You need the big bucks coming in, and
no, it's not the big bucks. It doesn't matter about that now. I've done well enough where I can be more selective.
I don't mean for you personally. I mean for the team. That you need money to pay for the machinery. You can't be rigging something together instead of getting quality parts and have mechanics. You got to pay the best.
You're right, and it's the development, the wind tunnel stuff, the shaker rig, and all these crazy things that perhaps people don't see from the outside, but it's so important when you're in the business.
Yeah, that's so you're looking, and are people contacting you?
Yeah,
I would assume
we've had a couple of offers for the next race. The next race is a twin race, the Texas 275. So they're going to do. It's the first time they've ever done this. They're going to do, one race. It's a shorter race based on, you'll qualify. The quickest guy starts first. And like I said, it's going to be a shorter race. But then for the second race that they're going to do on the same day, you draw out the hat or out of a hat for your grid position, and then you start the second race like that.
Start it like that.
I'd love to be part of it, but unfortunately, I'm going to be in the booth. I'm going to do the TV coverage.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, for Versus.
Okay. What do you? How'd you get started in racing? That's always kind of a weird thing with some guys. Like in the old days, it was bootlegging.
Right.
How'd you get
for
started?
The NASCAR people. Right?
No, believe it or not, I started in go-karts at 4 years of age. And when I say I started at 4 years of age, my father was a really good go-karter, and he drove for one of the big teams. Well, the rival big team, took a bet on me, thinking that I'd be as good as my dad, hopefully. And I was at the racetrack every weekend. Obviously, I wasn't allowed to race till I was 8, but every time I could practice, I'd be on the track practicing at 4 years of age. And it was professional. It wasn't like it was your kid karts at the fair.
Yeah.
It was full on, but it's a really cool sport to be part of. I mean, I love it. I really do.
Oh, I don't doubt. I would tell you about my own racing experience. It is in the NASCAR. But I went to a Pocono.
NASCAR.
I went to NASCAR. I went to a Pocono Raceway, and
I was hearing it.
took a few laps around there.
What speed did you get up to?
For you, it's probably nothing. I got up to about 170 at one point.
Oh, so you were doing what we do in second gear. Cool,
in second gear, yeah.
Hey, good job, bro.
That does amaze me. Because this is my run with my own car. This is with the Shelby. I had the.
He's got the Mustang.
But this is nothing.
Are you expecting him to be
nothing.
impressed by this?
No. But it's fun.
Do you realize you showing him that?
That's the pace car coming out of the pit.
That's like somebody sitting you down going, hey, look at this podcast I did in my living room.
Exactly. I know. Hey, he's got to appreciate the fun and excitement of being behind the wheel, I think.
No, it's cool. Like
no, it is fun.
The Indy cars, especially right now, that they're so fast. And I don't know if you guys watched the qualifying shows, but to think that Michael Andretti's two of his 5 cars were bumped out the field it's so competitive.
Wow,
so,
that is,
it's good to be part of right now.
Do you look at with a certain respect on the old guys that did this when perhaps it wasn't as safe and they were still experimenting with a lot of things?
Yeah, you look at some of the cars these guys used to drive, and I wouldn't even step in them.
Goofy ideas of the higher wing and the
unbelievable, like hot water radiator pipes running right next to your legs and stuff like that. We're blessed these days. Our cars are incredibly safe, and we've got the soft wall around the outside of the track now, which they say is soft, but when you hit that thing at 225, it still hurts.
Yeah, I believe it. The safety technology has gotten amazing. When you could look at what happened in front of you there. And he walks away from it. JR?
Yeah, well, the biggest thing is it's supposed to look a lot more spectacular because all that stuff flying off is dissipating the energy and taking it away from the driver.
Yeah, the worst thing is not seeing anything leaving the vehicle because then the driver is absorbing a lot of energy.
Yeah, if you see our cars going backwards with the gearbox first, that's when you tend to worry. But for the most part, and knock on wood, we haven't had any injuries for a while, which is great.
That is amazing because years ago you would just see these spectacular flame crashes up into the friggin' stands on fire. It's like the Hindenburg disaster, and it is amazing.
You have a bad crash?
Yeah, I've been doing it a long time now, so I've had a couple, and it's always the ones that actually don't look that bad are the ones that hurt the most. I was doing at Richmond. It's it's a tiny track that we used to do. I was doing a qualifying sim round there, and one of the mechanics had forgot to do the suspension bolt up. They'd mounted it in a different position for performance, but he forgot to put the bolt on.
Oh.
And I came out of turn 2, and I mean it's a 15-16 second lap, and I was probably doing about 170, and the car just turned hard right into the wall. That was a big one. But Indianapolis in my rookie year, I defended kind of vigorously. I had some guy was getting a run on me, so I defended pretty vigorous, actually too vigorously to tell you the truth. And I paid for it. I hit the wall, and then the wind got underneath the car and flipped it over.
Oh, it did one of those.
Yeah.
Those are.
What kind of injuries you get from that?
No, actually, I didn't have.
Bumps and
I didn't
bruises?
have it. No, nothing at all.
Not even bumps and bruises?
No,
It's amazing that you walk away from something like that.
Yeah, it was one of those things. I was just, Indianapolis. It's a month long, and it's a month long at the racetrack. But what people don't see is the preparation that these guys put in back at the race shop itself. They're away from their families for a long time. Yeah, and the seams on the car. Just when you rub your hand over the bodywork, if you can feel that, they'll spend days trying to rub
Just
that out,
trying
so
to get it out.
you can't feel it
Over the course of the whole race, that would take some time off of your.
And I was
Wow.
just bummed for letting them down on that one, but that's the way it is. It's a very, very special race for us.
Oh yeah, that would have to be sure. That's amazing.
I have to ask. Danica Patrick. You guys don't think she's hot, do you?
She's a buddy of mine. Even though she's been tugging on my arm every now and then. Actually, you can pull that one up on YouTube. That's a good one. But
You got. She's all right. They make her sound like she's this bombshell.
I think she's very attractive.
when she's dressed up for a shoot,
she's
she
all
looks
right.
good. Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry.
And Jen,
I'm sorry. I didn't
come
know
on,
you guys were friends.
Well, no, I mean,
she's an IndyCar racer
I'll tell it like it is. She's cute.
She's all right.
Yeah.
And based on the curve of the drivers, she's like really, really hot.
Yeah.
Because you think of who else is racing.
How was Debbie Gibson?
What's that?
She want to come in and say hi real fast?
Oh, I didn't ask her.
You know Debbie Gibson?
I just said hi.
No, I don't know Debbie
She's
Gibson.
an old pop singer from years ago.
She was like the first Britney Spears.
Really? Yeah, many moons ago.
Right,
Where are you originally from?
Originally from England.
England, yes.
Yeah, I
of
tell
course.
everybody Alabama, but
Yeah, I don't think they buy it. No, huh?
How long have you been racing?
so I've been in IndyCar since 2002. I've been doing. I started in go-karts at 4. Moved into the race cars about 18. I've just been doing it ever since.
Do you ever see Grease Lightning
Yeah.
with Richard Pryor? Wendell Scott, right? What was his name? Wendell Scott?
Yeah.
Black race car driver?
And then Talladega Nights.
Oh, yeah, okay. That one.
Oh, Will Ferrell? I didn't see that.
It was pretty
I
funny.
guess that's like their Spinal Tap,
right.
right? The race car drivers.
That's a good one. It's not very accurate, but it's a good one.
Yeah. I remember watching in the old days, too, where you never realized how the pit area was so dangerous until you just saw people with that fire that you can't see.
Yeah.
And some of the pit crew would just be going, just freaking out. And now the pit crew is dressed in all the safety gear. But they used to just be in jeans and fucking T-shirt. And, fuel them up, let them go.
It's crazy. The best way I can put. I don't know your big freeway here, but like in LA, the 405, it's like you being in the slow lane and changing a tire. On the 405 freeway in rush hour, it's nuts. I mean, the biggest thing now is so competitive that to make positions up in the pits is what everybody's trying to do because it's hard to pass on the track, and you're trying to save tenths of a second. We're trying to drive into our pit box very quick and brake at the last possible minute. Well, sometimes you end up hitting your guys. You've got to get out really quick. It's a tight pit lane. It looks like on TV it looks very wide, but when you're trying to get multiple cars out, it's really tight. We get a lot of incidents there actually.
Do you guys all have? I'm sorry. Do you guys all have your own pit area?
Yeah,
that's a stupid question. But
no, it's a good question. It's an assigned pit area. Indianapolis is based off your qualifying speed. So the person that qualifies on the pole has the first pick. So typically you want to be the furthest down.
Yeah, I would want to be.
That's a huge
one.
advantage, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
When you pull into the pit, what do you? They change your tires, whatever they do. How long does it usually take? Like a problem-free pit stop?
4 tires and fuel.
4 tires and fuel is 8 seconds. It should be less than that. A little bit less.
It's hilarious.
Are you fucking 8 seconds?
Yeah.
What?
And it feels like an age. It feels
You're
like an age.
Come on, yeah.
How long was it? Say 20 years ago.
Holy smokes!
Where they used to have to pull the jacks out and stuff.
Yeah. Man, it's got.
They got it down to a science now, obviously.
It's got to have been 45 seconds, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at that. We're watching a pit change. There you go.
Where's the gas?
Right here. On the left side
Pouring
of the
it in.
car.
But how do you get the gas in the car that fast?
It just comes from a big tank that flows extremely quickly.
But wait, now was there only one bolt on each one?
Yeah, only one wheel nut.
One right on the middle.
It's good they don't have like my old Saturn did, where you had like the wheel lock and all that shit.
Yeah, he's in the glove compartment trying to find it. Yeah. And another great thing about this, and I don't know when they came up with this, but what a great idea! Just having that pneumatic jack system that's in the car. They plug in a hose. And jacks actually come out of the bottom of the car, lift the car up.
Man, you know what you're talking about.
And it's fantastic. It's amazing. So because it used to be the guy coming out with the fucking jack.
Yeah.
It's like how long it takes to get the fucking car up. Now it's boom, it's up, it's back down, and the guy's taking off.
What if you hit that when you're driving, or does it have to be a certain speed or less for it to work?
You can only the pit guy has to put it in.
How long do these guys practice that? Just hours at a time?
You know,
between races?
The top teams will practice every single day. I mean, look how dangerous that is.
Oh, damn. Yeah, he just got... We just watched some guy get hit by a car that was coming through.
Is he dead?
They was changing the outside front.
You know, it's just everything happens so quick. But what they do now as well, this is the hard one for me, is they won't allow, because what people were doing, they were leaving as quick as they possibly can as soon as a guy waved.
Right.
But sometimes, you know, that the fuel probe that they connect to the car to, you know, put fuel in the car, that's really heavy. And if it doesn't come out at the right angle, it won't come out right away.
So
what happens was the guy that sends you out the pits would pull it out, but it wouldn't come all the way, and the guy would see that motion
and
and send it, and then you're dragging a freaking pit tank down the road.
I've seen that happen a couple
Danny
of times.
just picked up on something in this video where he punches the guy in the helmet for running him over.
I guess after the fact, he leans over and punches the guy in the helmet. Watch.
We're watching the guy get run over in the pit a little bit, and then he gets pissed off and fucking gives him a right.
Not gonna do anything. Should have headbutted him. Oh man,
I've seen that before. But I mean, there's the mechanics don't like when people make silly mistakes on pit road, and you shouldn't as a professional.
No,
it's way too dangerous for those guys.
How long are you actually riding it? By the way, this is what an asshole I am. As I'm talking to him, I'm making an oval circle with my fingers, just so he knows I'm talking clearly. How long at a time are you actually going for?
So like the race length is about Indianapolis 500 is about 3.5 hours. And then a typical stint where, you can run out a full tank of gas. JR did 36 laps, so I could only do about 32 laps.
How long for a lap?
So it's 39.5 seconds. Between 39.5 and 40 seconds, depending on traffic.
So 40 times, say, 36 is, wow, okay, that's about 28 minutes, something like that?
Can I ask the P question?
I was actually going to ask you ever have to shit while you were riding.
No, I figure you get the duties out of the way before the race, but the pee. I mean, you're drinking a lot of fluid because you're dehydrated.
Yeah.
So come on.
Hey, if you got to go, you got to go, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever peed in your pants while you're riding?
You have to.
Oh yeah, everybody does.
Actually, Robbie Gordon, the NASCAR driver, a funny story. Dario got injured at Indianapolis, and so they put Robbie in to replace him. And, Dario didn't want, the guy taking his spot to pee in his car. That was like Dario's car. And Robbie Gordon put on this, I was a rookie in the team there, so he was the guy that I think he thought it was his job to teach me all the bad things, because he's that kind of guy. He's a great guy, funny guy. And so he puts this catheter thing on and a tube that runs down his leg, and it comes out like the bottom, like of his race suit. And they're sitting on the grid prior to the race, and I guess one of the mechanics runs over to the car because he can see leaking fluid.
That's not good.
So he gets on the radio and speaks to Robbie, and Robbie just smiles at Dario, but Dario was a little upset with that one. But yeah, if you got to go, man, you got to go.
Piss in the
and of
car.
course you guys got to go. 3.5 hours of drinking fluids.
In all seriousness, it's very important to stay hydrated. Like when we run as close as we do, obviously you lose clarity with your vision. So it's so important to stay hydrated, and the diet has to be right.
What time would you pick to do that? Because I don't think during a
This is technical. It's getting technical now.
Well, well, it is kind of interesting that you kind of are a little distracted when you just kind of, letting off that fluid there. And if you were making a move at that point, I would think you'd probably want to be under yellow or something.
Any time that I've been, it's been under yellow. You don't think about
no
it.
Pun intended.
Yeah, when you're
yellow.
when you're going, when you're running, you wouldn't even
Dude,
think
it's
about
a great
stuff
question because when you're in the ocean, you got a leak, you can't relax yourself because another waves come in. You know what I mean?
So it's something to do.
Yeah, you can't just
Like
relax.
that.
and
Remind me
let it
never
flow.
go swimming with you guys.
Yeah, stay out of the pool.
Fuck that.
There's
So, now, by the way, do you have a straw or something? You're not actually picking something and drinking it, are you? Do you have a straw? Because you got to hold the wheel with both hands.
No, we have. We're actually kind of
They got
lazy.
cup holders.
We have. Basically, it's like a camel pack thing. That the cyclists use. It's a great big one of them, and there's a tube that comes up into your helmet, but it's got a motor on it, so you push a button and it kind of shoots the the water into your mouth.
You guys have thought of everything.
It's gotta be. That's got to be pretty warm water after a while. Huh?
No, the mechanics are good. They freeze it. They freeze it the night before, so you're all good to go. I mean, if you don't do that, it'll literally burn your mouth.
And it's got to be hot in the cockpit there. During the race, what do they use to cool you down? Is it airflow or?
Yeah, the airflow typically takes care of you. But I mean, we do it so much, you just get used to it. It really doesn't bother you. The most it bothers you is when you do a practice day, because you pretty much don't get out of the car very much. You're in it the whole time, and it's when you come in the pits that you notice the heat. As soon as you're on track, you're fine. But when you come in, I mean, some days we're testing and it might be 90 degrees. Well, that means in the cockpit it's well over 100. So
and the track is just burning. I'm sure.
Exactly.
Too,
So it's not bad though. I mean, like I say, we've been doing it long enough, and it's not like you're worried about sweating really.
So how can you really practice on a practice day though? Because there's no other cars with you, right?
Yeah, but you work on the setup of the race car. You'll do long runs, see how the car performs over the duration of the run. A lot of different things like that. You'll see a lot of aerodynamic tests that we do. They'll change the shape of a certain wing part, and it can make a huge difference, believe it or not. When you think you win races by hundredths of a second, that these little things that can make a huge difference on the race.
I've seen some of the adjustments on the front wing of some of the NASCARs, and there's so many adjustment rods on there just to tweak it or twist the wing a little bit. It's amazing to me that it's gotten to that point where you're talking about hundredths of second adding up to
absolutely
each lap.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, on the steering wheel, I can move weight to the inside front wheel, and that'll in effect make the car more loose, as you guys say, loose. I say oversteer and understeer, but that'll make the car loose. That'll make the car more loose, or obviously if the car is loose, I can shift weight to the other side, and it'll give the car more push. more understeer. And then we've got front and rear anti-roll bar adjusters. There's you can even have a damper adjuster in the car, shock
in the
absorber.
car. So now, as you're going, something that would have taken going into the pit and having some guy turn a wrench, you can feel it as you're driving and adjust accordingly like that.
Exactly. And each click, we have a range of 20 clicks, and it will shift 10 pound a click, and it makes a huge difference to us.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
God, I have a question. When you're
thought of that,
don't you? When you're going, I'm always like worried when I'm passing in traffic. How do you not? You're doing 200 fucking miles, and how are you not worried that your tires are just gonna bump in? How do you make any sense out of that
decisions too
in the lack of space you have to work with?
You just get used to it, and typically it's been the same group of drivers now for a while. Obviously you get rookies come in and you get new people, but you get to learn their traits. Like you can learn Elio Castroneves. You can drive very close with him because he'll respect the fact that you're close, but he's not unpredictable. You're around somebody like Kanan, he can get a little unpredictable sometimes.
How close is close for you guys?
I mean, literally an inch. You'll see. I mean, you can see on.
You guys are an inch apart when you're going that fast.
Yeah,
open wheels too.
And you know what? We
crazy.
can be like at Texas. This next race coming up. That's a high bank track. So we'll run inches apart, side by side. but you might also have a car at like an inch or two in front of you, and you'll be sitting right up behind that car. You could even have cars, like inches behind you. So you're in close proximity to, it could be 4 to 6 cars. It's nuts, and
maintaining speed.
Yeah,
and a lot of tailgating happening.
Yeah, and that's why you just got to trust the people you're around. But I think, like I say, a lot of us have been around enough to respect one another and know that bad things can happen.
Now, how do you? All right, so say you're sandwiched between 3 other cars. How do you pass anybody? No one's gonna move. How do you fucking get around anybody? I don't get it. That's horrifying.
Well, we have to rely a lot on aerodynamics. So, sometimes people's cars they're not able to run that close, and they'll wash up the track. They'll push up the track. So, that's when you make your move.
Wow. You could see when you're watching at home, it's a lot easier to see, like, oh shit, that guy's slowing down, or something's fucking up with his car, or
you guys like to cuss on air, right?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
Just accentuate what you're saying, right?
It's just the way we talk. It's so weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Does it sound weird?
I wonder why.
Sounds weird.
Yeah.
No, it's just
talking about fucking cars.
We try not to do it gratuitously, like when discussing cunting tires.
You want to sound more manly, so we throw a couple fucks.
I know, you're a race car driver. We got to toughen up here. We're fucking fruity radio people.
You ever, time for another hack question. Do you ever get speeding tickets?
Yeah, driving as a civilian. How's that?
We talked to the motocross guys a while ago, and they said they don't own motorcycles because they're not crazy. They would never bring a motorcycle on a highway.
Right.
But they would do what they do in motocross,
Yeah, it's pretty much the same with us. I know, when I go on the road, I'm pretty chilled. It's one of those things when you're in the race car, you're getting every last 10th or 100th of a second out of the thing. It's nice when you're driving home just to kind of relax. I mean, I've got the coffee in one hand, I've got the cell phone in the other. And steering with your knee. That's my biggest problem.
Doesn't that make you crazy when you're in the Lincoln Tunnel or something, and you're like, that's a fucking 110th of a second you're wasting? Because I'm horrible. I literally will look at the guy in front of me, and there's 5 car lengths in front of him. I'm like, you fuck. Yeah. That's why I'm in traffic, because I don't know how you guys. I guess maybe because every real bit of driving is kind of pussyish compared to what they do.
It just turns his brain off, probably.
But when you're driving, though, do you, just as a civilian, do you still look 5, 6 cars ahead and go, yeah, I could cut around that way.
I could make a couple moves.
I'm going in here.
I like to glide through the traffic. I hate the people that sit in the frickin' the fast lane going slow.
Yes, I hate them.
That's an American thing. I've traveled a lot. That's an American thing, man.
Americans are stupid. Get out of the left lane. Move. You're over in Germany. They're not pulling that shit.
Well, the Autobahn has no speed limit, right?
Well, in some spots.
You really don't see this anywhere else except America.
No.
Why are we such assholes?
You do, but it's a big. That's an American thing, right?
It really is. Left lane, 40 miles an hour, with nary a clue that there's a parade behind them.
Exactly.
If you look in your mirror and see a bunch of cars behind you, and you look in front and see nobody, don't you realize you're the problem?
Yeah.
Well, it's like my bumper sticker says, sober, slow on booze, enjoy the road.
So anywhere else, man, if someone's behind you, they just move out of your way if you're in the fast lane. God.
Yeah, well, I mean, you
How
can,
great
right?
would that be?
Yeah, there's some crazy people. I mean, in England.
Yeah.
If you're in the fast lane, you're hauling butt. I'm telling you.
You better move.
So if you're going slow, they're gonna come right at you.
They'll let you know.
And they're actually aggressive. They'll pull you over and beat your ass.
Driving hooligans. I love it.
What's the big race in England? Is it as popular there as it is here?
Yeah, motor racing is popular. Obviously, the Indianapolis 500 is the biggest race in the world. There's definitely no race like that. But the big races in England are obviously the British Grand Prix. The one with the most history is Monaco.
Yeah.
That's obviously not in England, but it's that's kind of Europe's kind of blue ribbon event.
You've raced at all these places, right?
I haven't raced in Formula One. I actually declined Formula One to stay in IndyCars, so I'll never be allowed back there.
Why?
Oh, wow.
It's just a bit of an ego thing, but I love the Indianapolis 500, and it's such a cool event to be part of, like the qualifying, the practice, and the way the car feels driving around that track.
So now you haven't done road courses? Or
Yeah,
you race.
Yeah, IndyCar has road courses now.
Okay.
But obviously, when I was in Europe, it was all road courses.
All road
I only
courses.
did ovals when I came over here.
Road courses
okay.
where they just rope off a regular road?
No, it's different. Now you're turning right and left.
Right and left. Yeah, but you're right though. They do. We do a very big street race in actually my home city, St. Petersburg, Florida. Long Beach is a big one.
Yeah, Long
we're
Beach
doing one in
Grand Prix is
Baltimore.
huge.
Actually, you had a track not too far down the road from here, Watkins Glen.
Watkins Glen.
That is a phenomenal road course to drive. Really, really good.
Everyone talks about Watkins Glen.
Yeah, that's a great track.
Do you prefer road or ovals?
I like them both. They require different technique, but I really like them both.
Mixes it up. Hey, is there a button on the steering wheel to pass people? Dave and PA is saying you got to ask him about it.
There's a push to pass button. So it's Honda is the engine that we all use, and they've developed a system where it's almost like a chute of extra horsepower for a certain period of time, and they can adjust that length of time. At Indianapolis, I believe it lasted. You got 15 push to passes, and each one lasted, I think, 20 seconds.
Jeez.
So it gives you just a little bit of extra horsepower, and what it helps you do is complete an overtaking maneuver, basically.
So you're going around someone, you're going around them, you just want to get around them faster. Wow. You hit that. But why? Obviously, you're sacrificing fuel during that time.
Yeah, you're going to use it. You're going to use a little bit more fuel.
What if the other guy pushes his button too?
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Thank you.
That's why hysterical, though.
It's got some knowledge, and I'm doing the common guy shit.
That's great. I love
That's how this works.
Looks like the old cruise control on my steering wheel.
That's right, Jimmy.
Jimmy
uses his car for different things.
That's right.
Really?
Do you have a passenger seat in yours?
No.
It'll be no good for me, because where would a young lady sit when she hops in for money?
Or, lady,
Jimmy likes
whatever.
to take a lot of right turns himself. Well,
yeah, it's the whole prostitution ritual thing.
Yeah,
So you press that, and it gives you extra horsepower. How many horsepower are you riding when you're
going down the road regular?
No. In this car, how many horsepower?
In the Indy car, you'll probably have close to 700. In a 1,550, it's about 1,588 pounds a car.
Wow.
1,500?
Yeah, power to weight ratio is very good.
What do you drive in your personal life?
I've been part of the Honda family, so I have, and I got 2 kids now, so I've got the Acura MDX, I've got
the Honda Accord hatchback.
Yeah,
it was one of my first cars.
Nice.
That thing fucking flew, man.
Nice.
It really did.
Yeah. No, I got the Acura RL. I mean, when I was single, I had like the Lamborghinis and stuff like that, but there's really no need for them anymore.
No, huh?
Yeah, exactly. They are just good to pick up. I'd be scared. I could never drive something like that up to a place because my self-hatred and shame, like as I got out, everybody would know I just felt like I didn't deserve such a nice car, so I could never drive a fancy car.
That's Debbie Gibson.
Oh, she's very lovely. Oh, look at her.
I can see why you like Debbie in here
Isn't
now.
Debbie great?
Yeah, she's like a legendary singer.
Yeah, she's been a pop star here for since the 80s. Yeah. Look at the friggin' time. What are we doing?
Yeah,
we got to run.
I
know.
Gotta wrap up.
Wow, her body looks fucking great.
She looks fantastic.
Damn,
Wow.
So wait,
her
like,
ass.
are you married?
No, I'm single.
Well, let's see what game you got.
I have
want
none.
to see it.
He's got game. Jimmy's downplaying.
Here's my game.
Go ahead, show him.
All right, look. I'll give you this for oral, this for full service. That's my game. Look, I'll be really nice to you if you do this at the end of the massage. I have no rap. I have forgotten how to have a rap with a chick. If there's no money involved, I'm a lost soul. Really, I'm totally lost.
Try using your honesty.
That doesn't work a lot.
It seems to
look,
now.
It's well worth it, sweetheart. Valtrex, Schmaltrex. Hop right on.
Dan, move the mic so I get a picture for Twitter for you.
No worries.
Do you make fun of the people that have to drive the Viagra car?
Well, the Viagra don't sponsor anybody in IndyCar.
They don't do that in Indy. Yeah, they do it. They're doing that in NASCAR.
I think that was Mark Martin, right, for a while?
Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
I bet you hate when the Viagra car's right behind you. That's gonna, I don't want to step on the brakes. Do you guys have rear view mirrors and directionals?
We have mirrors,
have mirrors.
Either side of the cockpit.
Okay,
and then actually we have spotters, and so they're up on, in effect, like a spotting tower where they can basically see the whole track. We have 2 of them at Indianapolis, and we have obviously radios in our ears, and we'll be able to. They'll let us know, where another car is in relation to us, and they'll let us know things like if you're not leading and the guy leading is doing a different racing line or using a different racing line to what you are, they'll say, hey, we'll try moving up the track and this is working for the leader, stuff like that. So they're kind of
take what the leader's doing and kind of pass some info on to you.
Yeah, they're a good source of information for us.
The announcers, to me, like horse racing guys who play by whatever they call announcers are amazing because there's so much action and to remember all the names. And I imagine for Indy, it's like a 3.5-hour race where you have to talk. And here comes number 6, number 5 is still slowing down. Number 6 is ahead of him again. And now here comes number 4. It's like you got to talk for 3.5 hours like that. It's fucking amazing.
Knowing all the cars,
you know, because I did one race where I was in the commentary booth too. It goes much quicker when you're sitting there.
Oh, right?
Yeah. And it's much harder than you think. They've got an earpiece in you, and they're telling you like when to wrap up. And I give those guys credit. It's definitely harder than it looks. I mean,
is that what you're also looking to do though? So doing the commentary?
No, I think I'd like to keep driving for another 5-6 years. But maybe after that, I definitely enjoy it.
Yeah.
If you're not going to be in the race car itself, it's better than being at home, I think.
Watch some of the new young bucks out there.
Yeah.
Tearing up the track.
Do you have to be a certain weight? Because I know with jockeys, they weigh them on the horse. And it's like, I guess you're an in-shape guy, so you don't want to be like 20 pounds overweight, right? That just slows you down.
It definitely slows you down. And then, so for us, what they do is they weigh you at the start of the season. You have to pass an IndyCar medical. And they'll weigh you then. And then what they do, like Danica's obviously the lightest. And so they give her, a certain amount of ballast that she has to carry. And then with the other drivers, they'll kind of look at the range, and then depending on where you fit within that range, they'll give you a certain amount of ballast.
They handicap you with
weight.
extra weight.
Where does that weight go?
Put in the car.
It's almost on the floor of the car. They have like kind of areas for ballast.
Because don't you guys have to figure that out now too?
What's that?
When you figure out how much weight,
probably center
weight
gravity,
you got to carry.
Center of gravity. You probably place it
that's a huge performance.
That makes you adjust all sorts of stuff too, right?
Yeah. So being light is important because you can kind of move the weight around to suit the characteristics of the car.
I'd put it all in the front wing.
Yeah.
That would be a good spot for it, going around those cars. Talk about push.
It is up to you guys where you want to put it?
Yeah, you can place it.
Can you put it just right on your crotch or something?
No, probably not.
Probably not.
Wait, balance is like what, 10, 15 pounds, something like that?
Depending, that's what he's saying.
I carry 15 for the Indianapolis 500.
Wow.
So
does anybody carry none, like the heaviest one?
Yeah. There's some people that carry none. Actually, Townsend Bell, my teammate, he I don't know how this worked. He was 5 or 6 pounds heavier than me, but yet he didn't have to carry any.
When you had to carry 15.
Yeah. So maybe their math is not as good as it should be.
Do all the cars weigh the same or no?
It depends. We've been using the same car for about 7 years now, I believe. And so some of the older cars that have been crashed, the tubs have then been repaired. Well, typically, if the tubs have been repaired from crashes, it keeps adding weight. So, again, that's a disadvantage to have an older tub. The car that I actually won the 500 in this year was the 7th car made in 2003. So it was a really old car.
Wow, that is an old one.
Yeah.
But you probably like you know everything about how it handles, and you probably although the parts are always kind of new, right? So
yeah, they have to. If they don't put new parts on, they'll crack check them to make sure they mileage them, and then crack check them to make sure that they're going to be fine.
How long are tires good for? One set of tires can go how far?
Firestone do a good job, actually. They do a phenomenal job. At Indianapolis, we'll do laps around an average speed of 225 miles an hour, and they'll be good for 30 to 35 laps. Which
so every pit you change them.
Yes, yeah. You can actually go longer. It just if you put new tires, or if I didn't put new tires on and the rest of the field did, then I'd be swallowed up in a heartbeat.
Where do all those tires go?
Back to Firestone.
Oh, and they just make
melt down the rubber and you use them?
Or something?
Probably, yeah.
They go into the rainforest and just light them on fire.
Not smart. Get rid of them. Forest got nothing going on. Wait, now what about rain? See, I hate driving in the rain. I'm always afraid of hydroplaning. When it rains, do you panic or no?
Yes, panic.
But I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you go in a circle. You got to make sharp turns in the rain.
Oh, my
You ever
God.
tried doing that?
Well, they shut down races if it's raining too hard, right?
On the ovals, yes. On the road and street courses, no. We'll carry on in the rain. They just put wet tires on.
So what's a wet tire? What's the difference between a wet tire and a regular tire?
It has like the grooves.
Oh, okay.
For the water to to go.
But you can take a turn just as well on a wet tire.
Not as quick, no, not as quick. You'll slip and slide around more, but it's fun to drive in the rain. You can kind of throw the car around a little bit more. You have to use throttle control. You don't have to worry about being so smooth.
So if you drive and you feel it like wavering a little bit, you don't freak out?
No, you gotta be relaxed and cool in there.
Panic.
I would hate that. Yeah,
Jimmy
slam on the brakes.
Jimmy would be the worst driver.
I really would. I'd be doing like 80, like zipping away, and 55 on the turns, directionals.
I like the questions, though, man. You got some good questions.
I'm kidding. This is what everybody gets curious about.
Yeah,
It's
like the
like,
weird shit.
What scares the shit out of me in a car, I can't comprehend. Like, I would like to sit in the passenger seat and just go around once when there's no one on the track. Like just do 150.
In like a NASCAR.
You can do. They do 2-seater rides now.
Do they?
Oh,
yeah,
they do? Wow.
Mario Andretti does them sometimes, and that guy's he's a legend. He's so committed in the 2-seater program. He goes as quick as some people in the regular car.
Oh man!
But the big thing with us is you've got to be able to feel what the car's doing. Like Indianapolis is all about the confidence. The driver's got to have a ton of confidence, and so if you do feel it getting loose, just take a deep breath and then kind of look at the controls in the cockpit and try and adjust them to compensate for that.
Do you have a horn?
No.
You probably wouldn't.
I tell you what I did do. This is nothing to be proud of, but I gave somebody the bird at the 500 with like 15 laps to go. Like I talk about the aerodynamics. I got a run on a car. And I picked up a push behind that car. So coming out of turn 2...
What's that mean, you picked up a push behind the car?
The car kind of washed up towards the wall. And so I lost some momentum. Well, I mean, I lost some momentum, and there was a guy behind me that had a run on me. Well, he just drew alongside and just started driving me towards the wall.
Sure.
And I've been around long enough to know there was nothing I could do. He was going to pass me, but he continued to like pin me to the wall. So once he got by me, I kind of let him go a bit. Then I got the run and got him back and. Yeah, I did have to give him the bird to let him know that I was not best pleased, because there was no need for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there was no need for that.
Yeah, it would be great if you threw something at him, threw your coffee.
Why does he have a cup of coffee?
He's got to fucking drive it 3.5 hours.
Yeah, he's got to stay awake.
Indy 500, he's got a coffee in
What's
his hand.
wrong with you? Of course.
Exactly. Unless you're fucking trying to program his iPod.
Right in his coffee cup that he's got right to his right.
You can't hear any music while you do that either, right? No music at all.
No.
That'd be cool if they play a little music. Why not?
No, they got
'Cause
people
he's
talking to
listening.
him the whole time.
He's got to hear his team and his...
with all sorts of figures.
That's great.
And this is, I'm
Music
curious
and
about this
coffee.
too. Obviously, there's windshield wipers on the rain, but they must coat the windshields with something too.
We don't have windshield.
You really don't?
No. It's all open.
I didn't realize that.
It's on his helmet.
Then how do you protect from the mosquitoes?
So wait, so in the rain, you're just getting wet?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh, that's fucking.
The aerodynamics of the car, too, kind of blows the shit away from you.
It blows it. It blows it.
Okay,
pretty much away from you.
That's got to be a very powerful
But
fucking
you-
force.
200 miles an hour is a little different than,
On-
50 miles an hour on the highway with rain.
So there is something on your helmet that takes the rain off.
No, so obviously, I mean, you've seen a regular helmet. We've got the visor, and basically the way it's shaped, kind of the water
It just pushes it right off.
And I bet they put like that clear, what's that, Rain-X or whatever on it? Yeah, that stuff supposedly
Do you
works.
guys still have that plastic that
The tear-offs?
the tear-offs?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I've seen the ones. Do you ever see the ones with the motors on the side, and they go, "Whee," and they just kind of move out of the way?
That's
wow.
what they do in motocross.
Motocross,
That's what they do in
they have
motocross.
that.
We don't do that. We do they're just the regular tear-offs.
So you pile up a few of these clear plastic things,
And you
and
tear 'em off
if
as you
someone's
go.
engine blows or they throw some oil at you and it sticks there, they could just rip off one and it's clear
yeah.
again.
Jockeys do that too. They have X amount of. I forget how many
Yeah,
goggles
goggles.
each one has, but I guess
Yeah.
they have to rip them off because of the dirt that's getting kicked up in their
It'd be
face.
funny if it lands on a horse behind him and the horse's goggles on.
Yeah, I know. But don't they? That's gotta suck though. If someone throws their goggles and your horse trips, that's humiliating. Fucking horse trips on goggles.
Humiliating.
Yeah.
That's the word for it. Well,
That's
Dan
great,
Wheldon.
man.
Dan,
oh my
this
God.
this really was great.
I know,
I
love
think it
talking
turned
to
me
you,
into a little bit more of a fan.
You should be, man.
I'm not
You guys should come out to Indy 500.
Yeah, I'm not a big
nice.
fan of this
Please, I'd
sport,
love
but
to go
after
there.
this interview, I think I'm going to take a little more of a look.
Yeah, you
When's
should-
the next time you race?
Well, I don't know yet. I haven't finalized my deal, but the next race is
happens
the
every
Texas
time.
one,
in
right?
Texas Motor Speedway this weekend on Saturday night, and then there's two races.
Right.
Like I say, Texas 275, You'll be impressed. It's going to be intense, and you'll like the sparks that the cars kick off at night time. It'll be
I'm
a
gonna check
show.
it out. I think it's going to be on Versus.
Yeah,
You
so
said?
it'll be the Texas Twin 275s on Versus.
Yeah, okay.
That's a hell of a watch,
Texas-
by the way. What is that?
Thanks, man.
Can you really tell the time on that? Because I like numbers on my watch. I hate when it's just hands. I can never fuck. I swear to God, I can't.
He's like a child.
But honestly, I
Child
love it.
wonderment.
I like a watch with a big 6 and a 5 on it.
Yeah, and all the other numbers.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I cannot look at a watch. It's a very fancy watch, a gentleman's watch.
Well, he has very good eyesight.
Thanks,
I gather.
Yeah, all right.
That's great.
Do you ever hear the Texas Mile that they do out there, and they have a mile of it looks like an old runway or something, and you're just able to bring your car there, you make it go, and people have taken their cars there and just wrecked them at over 200 miles an hour. There's a lot of YouTube videos on it. It's probably not the safest thing to do. I would gather.
Well, I think they do that at the racetrack too, right? At Texas Motor Speedway. I saw something on TV once that they were doing a similar thing.
Really, just
Yeah.
out there.
Let's see what you
Yeah,
can
there's some
seeing how
passionate
fast you
people
go.
with their cars. And,
Crazy ass people.
yeah.
Well, all right. Dan, and it's Dan Wheldon on Twitter. Wheldon is how you spell
Yeah,
his last
Dan
name.
was great, man.
It was
Thank
fun,
you.
man.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Hopefully, you will be tuning in more.
I absolutely would love to watch you. Have you met?
No, not yet.
Well, he's one of the sponsors, all right?
Yeah. William Rast is one of the sponsors on the car.
I think he'd be right up there.
You'll have to meet him now. He just won the big Indy.
Wait,
race.
even
know,
after you
right?
won the race, he still didn't give you a
Yeah,
call?
no, he sent
What's
me a
wrong with
message.
Justin Timberlake.
He's probably busy.
Yeah, he's
Busy to not call the guy who won the Indy
Well, he said he
500?
sent him a message.
Yeah,
That's cool.
he sent me a message through a buddy, or through Colin Dine that works for
I was
William
wondering,
Rast.
do you drink the milk after the race if you're lactose intolerant?
You can choose what milk you drink.
You
actually,
can?
yeah, you can.
really?
You can do chocolate milk, skim milk. Well, you can do whatever milk you want.
Oh.
Is that tradition? The winner gets a big thing of milk?
Oh, yeah. No one
Yeah.
drinks soy milk, though, right? That's.
Well,
you could, it's on there. I think it's on the list of things to choose from.
What about bumper stickers? All right, let's get out of here.
How great would it be if you requested breast milk?
That's something you would do. I haven't known you that long, but you would do that.
Jimmy Norton
You figured it out, Dan.
500.
You figured it out, Dan.
Yeah.
But he wants to drink it right from the tap in front of everybody.
Of course he does.
Make the yummy noise.
Right.
All right. Thanks a lot, then. This is great.
Yeah, it really was.
Tomorrow we got
Sugar Ray Leonard.
Florentine will be in, and of course Sugar Ray Leonard at like 9:30.
Very
I'm
cool.
on Red Eye tonight on Fox News, so
Very good.
enjoy
And Dan,
me.
come back and see us next time you're in New York, all right?
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it.
Dan Wheldon, the winner of the Indy 500, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.